the effort as well. And I know that for everybody here was quite an adventure just to get to this location, but I think you can see behind me why we are where we are. Litter is a major problem, and not just here in Baton Rouge, not just here in Wards Creek, but all over the state of Louisiana. And it robs our state of its natural beauty. It creates hazards for people. It creates hazards for wildlife. I think it depresses economic development, enjoyment of life, quality of life, you name it. Errant garbage eventually makes its way into creeks and storm drains. That's why it collects here at this location in Wards Creek. It also exacerbates flooding issues. And this problem exists, again, all over the state of Louisiana. After a heavy rain, and it's better now than it used to be, all you had to do was take one look at Capitol Lake over there between the governor's mansion and the state capitol. It would just be filled with trash and debris. We have some contraptions that are helping to keep that under control right now, but we've got a lot more work to do. And of course, I think litter takes away from the incredible sportsman's paradise that we're so proud to call home, that we're so blessed to call home. And I think we're all called to be good stewards of our environment. And quite frankly, too many people in Louisiana right now, and collectively, we are not being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us. And quite frankly, I don't know that in my lifetime the problem with litter has ever been worse than it is right now. And it seems like this problem was exacerbated by COVID. Maybe it's the emphasis on drive-thrus at fast food places and so forth. I don't know what it is, but we have to do something to address it and get this under control, which is why today, and I'm very happy to have Donna here with me as well, because she's been working in this space for a good while. It's why today I am announcing a statewide effort to find solutions for our litter problem. And I don't pretend to have all the answers, but that's why we're going to convene by executive order and manage it with the Keep Louisiana Beautiful program in the Lieutenant Governor's office, a task force of 26 members. And this is government, this is local government, this is the private sector, it's nonprofits, it's all of us coming together to identify problems so that we can get a report by July the 1st of 2022, which is not too far off from that. We're already obviously in the middle of January, but July the 1st is the first day of the next fiscal year. And Billy, there will be some money in the budget to try to help with the position, to cover this and some grant opportunities and some other things. But these recommendations are going to be related to policy, education, and funding at both the state and local levels to better address the issues around litter. The members of the statewide Litter Abatement and Beautification Task Force come from various state and local government agencies, businesses, private groups, as I mentioned. But I mention it again because the truth is we all have a role to play. I hope everybody who's listening to this today, I hope everybody who reads about it in a newspaper, online, understands that we all have a role to play when it comes to litter. And litter doesn't always come from people who just make the very irresponsible decision to intentionally throw out a piece of trash. Sometimes it's people who put garbage out, but they don't secure the bags. Sometimes it's people who are taking trash and garbage and debris to the landfill, but they don't secure it in their truck. And after you have hurricanes, you have more debris and trash headed to the landfill than at any other point. And I really believe that's why when you drive around Louisiana today, you're seeing more trash than you've ever seen before. So we all have a role to play. It also accumulates accidentally from overflowing trash bins. Sometimes animals get into trash bags and they scatter the trash, and then we don't go back out and pick it up again. So there are simple things that we can do. like bagging your garbage securely, reducing reliance on single-use plastics, picking up trash that you see near your home or your business or in your community will go a long way towards improving our state. And that's why the task force is focused on the bigger picture of what causes litter, in addition to educating people on how to be better stewards of this beautiful land and increasing our efforts to actually go out and collect and properly dispose of the litter so that we don't see what's behind me right now. We're also going to promote Love the Boot, Don't Pollute community cleanup days each month, and Don and I will be participating in those as well. We're all at the start of a new year. I think we've all made resolutions for 2022. This should be another one. Let's add it to the list, and let's put it somewhere prominent on that list so that we'll actually keep it, and collectively we can make a difference and have a better and healthier 2022. And above all, I think that the desire to reduce litter should come from a place of love for one another, love for the environment, love for our wildlife in this great state that we have the joy and the blessing to call home. So I hope everyone will join us in an effort to keep Louisiana beautiful. I have already signed the executive order that we're talking about that creates the task force, and now I'm gonna call up Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. He's going to speak to you. We have several speakers, and then we'll all be available for a couple of questions at the end. Billy, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor and First Lady, for your love and passion and for recognizing the problem and putting this great team together. I want to thank the legislature this past year, moved Keep Louisiana Beautiful under my office out of education. We still need to educate the kids, but it gives us a larger picture and footprint to really go to work. There's nobody more passionate about trash than Susan Russell. But for too long, Susan Russell has done it with volunteers around this state. And so this task force, I think she's the only person happier than I am, Governor, that you've embarked on this. It's exactly what we need. I look forward to working with this team, with all the Louisiana ambassadors that love this state, the councils, the mayors, the parish presidents, school boards, high schools, universities, Rotary, Kiwanis, and every civic organization. It is going to take every one of us pulling in the same direction to clean up Louisiana. I know we can win this battle. As Parish President of Plaquemine, one simple task. We put garbage cans on an angle on every road leading to Highway 23. That was horrible after Katrina. And all the boats leaving the docks were throwing their trash out. 90% of the garbage went in or around those cans. And it took 90% of the garbage off that one highway. But the local governments have to be responsible to cleaning those out and keeping those areas clean. We can do that in every parish before they get on the interstate or the major roads. That's just one small task. It's so important to the tourism industry, to our quality of life, and to our business. We know of businesses that have come here to relocate and saw the trash, and we believe it's part of a factor of them not coming and locating in Louisiana. So it's part of our economy. We need to educate. We need to change the negative behavior, inspire people to do the right thing, and then we need to embarrass the ones that don't do the right thing. For way too long, litter abatement has fallen on the back of a few volunteers. I can't thank the governor and his team for doing this. It was a birthday present for me, my birthday last week, because this is what it's going to take. From the top, realizing and embarking everyone, and everyone is going to have to get on this team. And I know we can do this. We can do this because we must do this, and failure is not an option. Thank you again, Governor. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Mayor?
thank you, Governor Edwards and First Lady Donna Edwards, to our Lieutenant Governor. Governor, I want to thank you once again for your leadership in establishing this task force on statewide litter abatement and beautification. I don't know the last time you've seen so many people out at a press conference interested in an issue, because this is certainly an issue that not only impacts our city, our community, but it is a statewide issue. And you've heard this already. Louisiana is a state that is rich in culture and in our environment. We're just not called the sportsman's paradise by coincidence. We do have rich resources here, and we want to maintain those resources. I heard the governor say that one of the reasons we have had an uptick in litter is due to COVID-19. But I also heard the Lieutenant Governor say that there are doable solutions and failure is not an option. And I joined this team of the task force because I believe that failure is not an option as well. Here in East Baton Rouge Parish, we have worked diligently to address this litter in our community. We've had community groups who have worked. We've had our Department of Public Works. We've had the Louisiana Stormwater Coalition who's worked with us. And let me just tell you, in 2021, our city parish disposed of over 21,000 pounds of litter and 1,165 tons of debris as part of these efforts. That's a lot of trash. And so as we move into 2022, I am extremely optimistic that with this initiative, with everyone working together, that we will see litter mitigated in our city and in our state. So I'm delighted to be here today to celebrate this partnership between municipal and state government. And of course, as I said, it goes far beyond the reach of elected officials. We need community partners in this effort. And I'm delighted to say that here in Baton Rouge, and I believe across the state, we have residents who are serious about seeing our city become a beautiful city. We have residents who are committed to seeing us reduce plastics, dispose of garbage properly, and committed to picking up litter in our community, which is not always a beautiful thing to see or do. Thank you all for your commitment. I believe that our efforts will go a long way in aiding our eradicating litter in our community and indeed keeping Louisiana beautiful. Now, it gives me pleasure to bring up Marie Constantine, who is with the Louisiana Stormwater Coalition.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Governor, Lady Donna, Lieutenant Governor, Susan. Today we find ourselves in a litter emergency. Loose trash, most in the form of single-use items, is the problem. But it's the unsustainable use of single-use items that has thrown us into this litter bull market. What do you, they're louder? Okay, it's right there. They're good. When loose trash lands on the streets, Louisiana's big rains come and push it all into a storm drain system. Well, the storm drains were designed to save us from flash floods. Untreated storm drains also act as freeway on-ramp systems, sending litter-infused water and flood-causing sediments into low areas like this, into lakes and bayous and marshes and wetlands. We symbolically stand here in this wetland today because few humans walk in here. Yet engineers tell us an untreated storm drains have dumped tons of single-use items in the low areas all over the state of Louisiana. It is important for everyone to understand where litter on the streets ends up. It ends up right back here in places like this. If our streets are the lipstick and the pearls of our communities, our watersheds are the souls of our sportsman's paradise. And today our soul hurts because our birds are dying a death by litter. When birds dive down to spear a minnow, they can come up with their beaks tied shut. When researchers examine the stomach contents of our animals, they're full of litter. If life is holy, if life is sacred or decent in any kind of way, we must always fix what can be fixed. Some of this is easy to fix. Please, every citizen, every business, every industry, look at your waste handling practices. It's not just the people intentionally throwing it. Litter is very complicated, and this task force is going to find out how we can fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Susan Russell, Executive Director for Keep Louisiana Beautiful. Today marks an extraordinary day for Louisiana. Today is a day for the first time that a Louisiana governor and lieutenant governor have stood side by side to declare cleaning up Louisiana a priority. On behalf of Keep Louisiana Beautiful's Board of Directors, our staff members, our 39 affiliate organizations, and tens of thousands of volunteer and participants, thank you for your leadership. There's perhaps not another issue that is as widespread, destructive, and costly that gets so little attention and funding. Litter is a problem in all 64 parishes. It touches everyone, people of all ages, race, gender, economic background, and education. It is a problem that affects our economy. It affects tourism, our property values, health and safety, drainage, as well as the wildlife and the marine life. Louisiana spends over $40 million annually on litter abatement, and yet our state is still one of the most littered states in the Union. For way too long, we have accepted attitudes, behaviors, and a culture that is counterproductive to clean communities. Low expectations and a high tolerance has become the norm, and this must change. And today begins the beginning of that change. With the leadership of the Lieutenant Governor and this newly formed task force, there are brighter, cleaner days ahead for Louisiana, but we cannot do it alone. Addressing the litter problem in Louisiana is a shared responsibility that will only be solved when the public, the private, and the non-profit sectors come together. And of course, there is a role and a responsibility from every citizen to do their part. Be a part of the solution. Never litter. Pick up litter when you see it, and never put trash and an unsecured load in the bed of your truck. Participate in our Love the Boot, Don't Pollute monthly challenge on the 4th Saturday of every month. Grab a bag, a friend, a family member, and clean your space. And then join us for larger community-wide events, April 18th through 24th, when in communities all throughout Louisiana we'll be conducting cleanups. What we're trying to accomplish will be difficult, no doubt. We need to create a societal shift in behaviors, similar to what was done with seatbelts and drinking and driving. We now need to do for littering. Join us and be a part of keeping Louisiana beautiful. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Johnson. I'm the president of the Bossier Chamber of Commerce up in Northwest Louisiana and the state chairman of the Louisiana Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. I want to say thank you, Governor and First Lady, Lieutenant Governor, for putting this all together. And I'm here to reiterate that it is a state statewide issue. It's not South Louisiana only. It is the entire boot, and that's why we have the campaign, Love the Boot, Don't Pollute. We started, just to give you an example, of meeting of 3 of our regional chambers of commerce this last summer. The Bossier Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Shreveport Chamber, and the African American Chamber of Commerce. All of our board of directors came together to address this issue. It is a #1 priority for the business community. It is about economic development. I ask you this question: would you invite company over without a clean house? This is our house. Let's make sure it takes all of us together. And as we've been spreading the word up there, and now to be a part of this task force for the entire state is so exciting. We've been learning what small businesses, one piece at a time, have the same passion that we do. Just did a ribbon cutting last week for a small business, and they said, we're located here on Highway 80 for a reason, and this is our goal for this year, is to clean up Highway 80 all the way down to our National Cyber Research Park. So I'm so excited. I applaud you. Thank you so very much. Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much. And I look forward to serving on the task force and being a part of the solution, and all one step at a time. It takes all of us together.
Thank you. I know all the other speakers stepped off of over to the side, but you can ask questions of me or of them, and we'll take a few questions. Yes, sir.
I tend to think people glaze over when they hear another government task force, right? So when we see 81 tons of litter back here, how soon can we start to see results? How soon do you expect to see results of getting areas like this cleaned up and stopping stuff from coming in?
Well, first of all, I would hope you'll start to see results immediately, because we're talking about it. And if the average person waits on somebody else to come clean up their street, come clean up their park, go into their cemetery and clean it up, it's going to be a long time. But if they will get out there, as Susan mentioned a while ago, with their friends and with their neighbors and participate, then we can start seeing results immediately. I hope the people have noticed what I have noticed, and really it happened gradually over the last couple of years because of COVID, and then I think it happened much more rapidly in the immediate aftermath of the hurricanes. There's just too much trash, garbage, and debris out there, period. And we all have a role to play. So my #1 thing here is nobody should wait until this task force issues a report by July the 1st. Nobody should wait to see what official actions the government's going to take, although we're going to take some. We're going to have grant opportunities. We're going to put more litter receptacles out there. We're going to do education. We're going to do all sorts of stuff. But please don't wait. This is one of those John Kennedy moments. Not the U.S. Senator, the former U.S. President. You know, don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Well, don't wait for your government to get out there and fix your litter problem. You all are part of the solution. You're the key of it. And so don't wait for us.
I thought I heard you say the government came up that there'll be some money in the budget.
Yeah.
Press this.
Yeah, there is. We're going to have a budget presentation on the 25th. You'll see some funding for the Lieutenant Governor's office for the litter abatement education issues and some grant opportunities. We're working through that right now. I'm not going to give you the dollar figure right now, but I wouldn't make the commitment if we weren't already working on it. I wasn't very sure that we'd be able to do that. And then, quite frankly, based on the recommendations that they come up with and the things that the legislature wants us to do, I would expect that you're going to see much more funding going forward as well, more than just what we put into the budget. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, my love.
So we founded Keep Tigertown Beautiful a year ago because we kept watching the litter problem just totally out of control in Baton Rouge, and we didn't want to wait for anybody, so we just jumped in. We got as many volunteers as we could, and We've been doing it every Saturday for the last year. We've picked up over 1,600 contractor bags of garbage. And one of the biggest problems that we see is the intersections of our city where people are coming into the LSU football games, coming in for government meetings, coming in to visit their families, people that are coming here to get jobs. And then they decide, whoa, do I want to live here? Why is it so dirty? And the biggest thing we do is we go to the intersections that are so disgusting and we clean out all the debris from homeless and drug addiction. And it's mountains, that it's a magnitude of garbage there. And what my question is, what are we going to do to stop that from happening? They're stealing grocery carts, people that have grocery stores, Home Depot, Albertsons. There's hundreds of these grocery carts all over the highways. And it's a crime. So there's no.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to get it done.
Well,
Please.
first of all, we're going to take a holistic approach, and we are engaging our local partners, whether they're cities or parishes, all the law enforcement agencies. There unfortunately is a law enforcement function when it comes to litter. It's a crime. Okay? We need to all address it. It's one of those things that we don't want to happen in the first instance, and right, by the way, that's true about all crime. You don't want it to happen in the first instance, but when it does happen, there has to be consequences, within reason, so that we can get people's attention and we can get it stopped.
You see this? This is a bottle of about 100 hypodermic needles that I picked up yesterday in an area no bigger than this on the side of an interstate. And we have a big drug problem here in Baton Rouge, and with that, we have mountains of litter and encampments that are left over for us to clean up. So please do not give money to street people. Please don't do it. It'll dry up.
Please, ma'am, we're going to let the reporters ask some questions.
Yes.
Please.
I just one quick follow-up. For something like this, the people that have watched this grow and have really, like Marie, they say this can't just be done through your average citizen cleaning up. What's the expectation on getting this area cleaned up? It's roughly 81 tons of litter back here. Now that you've seen it?
Well, first of all, obviously there is a role for government to play. When you see an area like this isn't typically something that you would have a weekend volunteer effort to do, because you're going to have trucks, you're going to have some equipment perhaps. So obviously there's a role to play. The mayor was saying they're already doing this in other areas. She talked about the tons of debris and trash that they picked up in 2021. But obviously we need to bring it to another level and to better coordinate that response. Maybe to enlist some private sector folks who actually have some of the equipment that we can use, and there obviously additional volunteers as well. But all of that's part of it. But we want people to acknowledge what I think is plainly obvious to all of us. We have a litter problem in Louisiana. It is getting worse. It's not getting better. And we all have to do what we can to make sure that we address it as soon as possible. It is a quality of life issue. It is an economic development issue, as we've all mentioned here.
Last media question.
Okay.
Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And by the way, those litter getters, what is it?